what was I doing this time of year 7 years ago? So let's start with what is today. Today is Saturday, 8 October 2022. And 7 years ago, I was going through the application process for graduate school. Specifically, I was applying to Ph.D, so Doctorate of Philosophy, which is kind of the original doctor, and then later on, there's judicial doctorate and there's medical doctorate, but they came after the PhD. So if you wanted to be a doctor in the original sense, the firstly established was actually a PhD, not a medical doctor. They came much later, or it's was it centuries later, or thousands of years, something like that. So I was applying to Doctorate of Philosophy, PhD, programs in Geophysics, and I did really well. I applied to 5 schools, and I got into all 5 schools with offers of full tuition, salary, so 30 to 40-ish, so let's say $30-ish thousand a year. It increased through the program, so let's say approximately $30,000 a year plus full tuition. And then at each university I applied to, I also got some sort of additional perk because I was the #1 applicant at some of the universities. So that was a pretty big deal. I after a 50% go around on my undergraduate applications, where I got into only 50% and got 0 scholarships until I transferred, and then I got a scholarship at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I actually got a couple of scholarships, or a few scholarships. So this was much better than my 50% for undergraduate degrees. So where did I apply, and kind of what was the process? So in addition to full tuition, salary, some sort of additional monetary or research perk, I also, every university I applied to flew me out for a visit and housed me and fed me and all expenses paid kind of thing. And I think when I roughly tallied it up, it was these universities combined dropped about $10,000 on me coming and visiting to convince me to come to their school, kind of thing. And so what were they? What were the schools? So I'm going to try and do this in order of my visits, so of them flying me out and me visiting. Up first, this might not be right, but I think it is University of British Columbia. Had I gone there, it would have been kind of working on a rock type called, or a rock, not type, is rock, kimberlite. And kimberlites are home to diamonds, so it's the conditions that bring diamonds to the surface of the earth, which might then be eroded. I've made a YouTube video on this before, but natural diamonds form under extreme pressures, and so they have to be brought to the surface of the earth somehow, and kimberlites do that. And there was actually, so who would have been my main advisor, he shared, not in the office space, but was right next to a professor who did collaboration with, I think it was De Beer, the diamond company, or gem company, mining company. And so there'd be just slabs of kimberlite, and it's can you find the diamond in the kimberlite? How cool would that be? I'm just sitting here looking at diamonds. But it would have been a kind of a combination of petrology and fluid dynamics, mechanics of kind of fingerprinting the dynamics of the kimberlite magma as it comes to the surface of the earth, that kind of thing. So that was very cool. They flew me out, all expenses paid. I stayed in an on-campus guest house, kind of, and it was fun, and I got to meet another graduate student applicant and stuff, and have breakfast with him. And why did I not go? So I got the full tuition, full salary, additional, as the application process went on, I got an additional monetary offer. I turned it down. The main reason was I attended school at at Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in South Africa, and I have been through the process of getting a student visa, and that was something that would have happened at the University of British Columbia. It's you get a student visa for a year and then have to renew it every year, and because this is in Canada, I do not have Canadian citizenship. This is a long-winded way of saying I wasn't really ready to live internationally again, even though it's 2 hours from where I am right now, that kind of thing. And like where I grew up, so just north of Seattle, Washington State. It's in Vancouver, Canada. That's not far away. However, it is a different country, and when it comes down to logistics, paperwork, applying for visas and stuff like that, it matters a whole lot. Something that people who just travel there and don't really think of it from like a worker student perspective, we're kind of like oblivious to, and kind of continue to be oblivious to. Then up next was Rice University. If I had gone with my heart, I would have chosen Rice University. It's not to hate on any of these schools. These schools were very, very amazing. This was the case of I had multiple interests in geophysics and geology and experimental petrology, and there was like everything there, and I was just kind of like, whoa. And the professors were amazing across the board, and I was just, and I left that grad school visit being like, I'm going here, and I guess in hindsight, like, well, no, I made a mistake in choosing where I went to go, but my heart was set on here. And then, did I get an additional salary offer? I'm gonna go with yes, but I don't remember the details for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, because I was the top applicant. Yeah, so it was a top applicant offer kind of thing. I don't remember the details. Some of these additional packages were for like 1 year, some were for like 5 years, that kind of thing. So I turned it down. What do I mean by turn it down? So for each of these universities, whether I attended or not, I had direct communication with the department saying I was not coming. So not like an online checkbox or something like that. No, I actually contacted people. Okay, so why did I not go there? That was a case of the place I went had something I wanted that this university didn't. And I was really stuck on particle physics at the time. And if I went to the place where I ended up attending, I got to use a particle accelerator. And so I didn't go there because they didn't have a particle accelerator. And technically the school I went to didn't have a particle accelerator either. It was just at the top of the hill right next to the university in a Department of Energy lab. United States Department of Energy lab. So it was a case of I didn't really, I chose based on my quirks. Okay. Yeah. Up next was Georgia Institute of Technology. So this was salary, full tuition, and I think it was top applicant there too. So kind of the same thing. This was a very cool place. They had really cool athletic facilities. I was like, they had the most beautiful indoor track I've ever seen. And they had a Olympic-sized pool, and it was like, the pool was like the site of the 1996 Summer Olympic Games, which is pretty cool because I had not swum in an Olympic-sized pool before. And so there was part of me that was like, I just want to go for one swim, you know, kind of thing. But had I gone there, their athletic facilities were nice, and the kind of school athletic facilities I had used in the past at the IMA at the University of Washington when I attended. And so there was a bit of, I knew that athletic setup would work for me. Even if there was 2 feet of snow, I would still trudge through the snow with Yulia Efimova to run, 1 mile on the indoor track for time, filming each other and posting it on YouTube. Or just going for a swim and doing times for fun and posting on YouTube. There was a bit of, and that was stuff I thought about at the time. I was like, this would be very cool. There were 2 kind of main advisors I was interested in there. There was at least 2. or at least one, so the main advisor, and then like additional people that I was interested in as like a co-advisor kind of thing at each school. This one I did not choose to attend because of feedback from students in the research group I had applied to. Was kind of like one super waving red flag from one student, and then a bunch of yellow flags. And I was just like, all right, I guess I'm not going here. And it turns out the person who like had the waving flag when I was there, that student actually ended up, was so miserable there that later in their graduate career, well, as part, like when they were still in their degree, they transferred to a different university out of the program. So it's like, I made the right choice in not going there. But the school is amazing, and the culture of it, this is in Atlanta, Georgia. This is in Houston, Texas. So yeah, I would have lived, if I had chosen rest, I would have lived in Texas. All right, this is Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Then we have, and so I kind of turned it down because of feedback I got that panned out to be the right decision. So up next is University of Oregon. This is like